Welcome to the Eye Opener. I'm your host, Michael Lewis. Joe Biden is being sued again, this time by 12 states for his climate executive order. Recent actions by McConnell hints that he may be heading towards retirement. The CCP ordered Biden to undo former President Donald Trump's dangerous practice, or else the world will remain far from tranquil. 1.95 million people of California have spoken. Will the rest of California agree? Okay, my friends, let us take a closer look together. On Monday, the Supreme Court dismissed the final remaining lawsuit from former President Donald Trump in challenging the 2020 election results. In the case, Trump argued the Wisconsin Elections Commission violated the Constitution when it established rules for mail-in voting inconsistent with state laws. Also on the same day, High Court declined another case brought by lawyer Lin Wood. Wood had asked the Supreme Court justice to block the January 5th Senate runoff election in Georgia because of the many problems found with the runoff elections, including how they were conducted and signature matching on mail-in ballots. Both lawsuits were denied without any explanation. Lin Wood commented on his Telegram channel, "SCOTUS denial of review of election cases today was no surprise. That handwriting was on the wall from its previous refusal to review any November 2020 election cases. It is a fair question to ask whether the rule of law has any meaningful relevance in our current environment. But I remain hopeful that we will soon return to being governed by established laws and case precedents." Wood also said that last month, Georgia State Bar was trying hard to attack, silence, and prevent him from practicing law out of politically motivated acts of revenge. Wood believes Georgia is the most corrupt state in the country. A coalition of 12 states is suing Joe Biden's administration over a climate executive order that he signed in his first day of office. They claim that the order has serious economic impact across the country through the expansion of federal regulatory power. The suit, led by Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt, was filed on Monday. State attorneys general from Arkansas, Arizona, Indiana, Kansas, Montana, Nebraska, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Utah also joined the action. It alleges that Biden's Executive Order 13990, titled "Protecting Public Health and the Environment and Restoring Science to Tackle the Climate Crisis," does not have the authority to issue binding numbers for the social cost of greenhouse gases to be used in federal regulations. What is the social cost of the greenhouse gas exactly? Take carbon as an example. The definition of social cost of carbon, SCC, given by Yale University, is the economic cost caused by an additional ton of carbon dioxide emissions or its equivalent. The estimated economic cost includes factors such as the residence time of CO2 in the atmosphere, impacts of climate change of the extra ton of CO2 emission, impact of human health, and the cost of fixing the damage. Different research and institutions have different models which have various weights of each factor, thus a different SCC. A perfect SCC can only exist in economic theory. According to an interagency working group created by Biden's order, the interim values of social cost of greenhouse gases are determined to be $269 billion for carbon dioxide, $990 billion for methane, and $8.24 trillion for nitrous oxide, totaling approximately $9.5 trillion. The lawsuit argues that Biden's order does not have the authority to set values for the social cost of carbon, methane, and nitrous oxide that will be used by regulatory agencies. AGs are concerned that the potential regulation will stifle manufacturing and harm the agricultural industry, which hundreds of thousands of people are involved in and even affect everyday life. The suit states, in practice, this enormous figure will be used to justify an equally enormous expansion of federal regulatory power that will intrude in every aspect of Americans' lives, from their cars to their refrigerators and homes to their groceries and electric bills. It is estimated in the suit that the set value of social cost of greenhouse gases will bring billions or trillions of dollars of damage to the U.S. economy in the coming decades. The action of setting these values violates the separation of powers, which is, quote, the most fundamental bulwark of liberty. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, who has been publicly called a third-rate leader by Trump recently compiled a short list of successors in his home state of Kentucky, preparing for the possibility that he will not serve out his full term. Under the current law, the power to appoint McConnell's replacement falls on Democratic Governor Andy Beshear. This could be a huge disadvantage for the Republicans. Kentucky legislators are looking to introduce a new bill that would take away the governor's authority to nominate a successor and instead have a state executive committee of the same party to select. If the bill passes, McConnell is expected to retire at the end of the year. In addition, former Vice President Mike Pence, who has been criticized by Trump's supporters, is scheduled to give his first speech since leaving the office. Pence will keynote a dinner hosted by the Pimento Family Council, a conservative Christian nonprofit group in South Carolina next month. Since vacating the vice presidency in January, Pence has been doing work with the Conservative Heritage Foundation and Young America's Foundation. On March 3rd, Pence published an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal criticizing the 2020 election and attacking H.R. 1, a voting rights bill that passed the House last month. But he has not made any indications regarding plans to run for public office in the future. The Chinese Communist regime's top diplomat, Wang Yi, warned the Biden administration Sunday to undo former President Donald Trump's dangerous practices of supporting Taiwan. Taiwan is what the regime calls an insurmountable red line. It was split from the mainland when the CCP took over power in 1949. The regime has vowed to bring Taiwan under its reign by force if necessary. During the Trump era, the administration enhanced U.S. support of Taiwan by increasing arms sales for its self-defense and sending cabinet officials to the island. Wang Yi, in an aggressive tone, told the Biden administration to completely change the previous administration's, quote, dangerous practices of crossing the line and playing with fire with regards to Taiwan. He said Beijing has no room for compromise in its position towards Taiwan and called the United States to recognize it as soon as possible, otherwise the world will remain far from tranquil. Early this month, former National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster warned that the CCP could invade Taiwan in the near future, which may lead to a large-scale war. Wang's message on Sunday hinted about the CCP's next move, which is to take over the democratic island by force. The CCP has been growing more and more impatient with those at odds with its tyrannical rule. America should be in the forefront to help Taiwan fortify its defenses against a possible attack to curb the regime's malicious ambitions. As former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said in the 2021 CPAC speech, the entire world benefits when America is fearless and bold and strong. Before we continue, I would once again like to thank all of you who have joined me on this journey. As you already know, YouTube and big tech have been suppressing conservative voices, and that includes us at The Eye Opener. Please like and share this video so more people can know the truth. And if you're enjoying the content, please consider supporting us. Our donor box link is in the description. Now, please don't forget to join the email list. That way, if I get deplatformed, I will be able to stay in contact with you. Okay, let's get back to the show. It's about a week away to the March 17 deadline to turn in all signatures for the recall of California Governor Gavin Newsom. Organizers say that they have collected 1.95 million signatures, and the signature verification pass rate so far is 83%. If this rate can be maintained, they should have gathered 1.62 million valid signatures. That's well above the recall threshold of 1.5 million. One recall organizer said, that is more than enough to be able to have this initiative qualified for a special elections later this year, to let the people finally decide who and what is going to happen with the fate in the future of California Governor Gavin Newsom. After verified signatures are sent to the state officials, voters will be asked later this year whether Newsom should be removed from the office. They will also be asked if they should replace the governor if a majority voted for the removal. The effort to recall Newsom goes beyond the Republican Party. A small sample of signatures shows 31% are from non-GOP voters. Out of the 1.95 million signatures, 1.6 million was collected by volunteers. It is an amazing result amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Californian Aaron Bergh is a nonpartisan small business owner. He said his nonpartisanship will continue, but he couldn't afford to be apolitical anymore. Bergh urged that if California's small business owners want to survive, it is imperative to get involved in the recall effort. Bergh gave a long list of Newsom's incompetence. Gavin Newsom has ignored the desperate pleas of business owners who are struggling to pay their employees. According to the California Restaurant Association, 30% are expected to close permanently. Amid the highest unemployment since the Great Depression, laid-off employees can't obtain unemployment insurance benefits in a timely manner. The state's Employment Development Department has paid as much as $30 billion in fraudulent claims to prisoners, and others perhaps the largest such fraud in California's history. Despite having some of the highest tax rates in the nation, California continues to suffer from the nation's highest poverty rate and disproportionate homelessness. Newsom's reputation suffered greatly after he was found enjoying a maskless party with a dozen guests at French Laundry restaurant last November. That happened when he had discouraged Californians to gather outside and lectured people to always wear a mask in public. Looks like California does deserve a better governor. Following Newsom, another official in California is facing a recall: Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon. Gascon took the LA office on December 7th last year. In less than 3 months, the Recall George Gascon campaign was formed. In 2009, Gavin Newsom, then mayor of San Francisco, appointed Gascon as chief of police for the San Francisco Police Department. In 2011, after Kamala Harris was elected California Attorney General, Newsom appointed Gascon to be the San Francisco District Attorney. During Gascon's tenure as San Francisco DA, crime surged. According to data from the Los Angeles Times, between 2011 to 2019, property crime rates in San Francisco rose by 49%, and violent crime increased by 15%. As soon as George Gascon took office as Los Angeles DA, he announced a slew of sweeping changes, including stopping the use of sentencing enhancements, restricting when prosecutors can hold defendants without bail, ending the use of the death penalty in LA County, and banning the practice of charging juveniles as adults. Gascon also announced plans to reevaluate any sentence from which the prisoner had already served 20 years, and to open some cases of officer-involved shootings from the previous 8 years. Victims and their families are outraged over his policies, and a lot of them have come forward feeling threatened. Author Hans Bader was a senior attorney at the Competitive Enterprise Institute. In his book, Liberty Unyielding, Bader said that Gascon's policies would prevent prosecutors in LA County from seeking increased penalties for repeat offenders who commit willful homicide, forcible rape, robbery, and aggravated assault with a firearm. Bader cited a study from the National Bureau of Economic Research which showed increasing the sentences of repeat offenders can reduce crime by disabling habitual criminals from committing new crimes. Bader claimed Gascon's directives will release many dangerous, hardened criminals, enabling them to prey upon innocent people. In February, Gascon hired Tiffany Blacknell as a Grade 4 Deputy District Attorney in the administration. During the unrest in LA's BLM movement last summer, Blacknell posted a tweet calling the Los Angeles Police Department barbarians and an occupying army, and advocated to defund the police. Blacknell also claimed that prisons is obsolete, and to reimagine America without it. Gascon's pick of the Grade 4 prosecutor had only sparked more fire on him. The leader of the California District Attorney Association called Gascon's decision a publicity stunt. Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanova said that the trend is deadly. As of February 27, 2021, compared with the same time of last year, in Los Angeles, county homicide cases rose by 39%, aggravated assault rose by 11%, and shootings increased by 88%. George Gascon is a DA with progressive approaches and a radical agenda. When a prosecutor puts his lawful citizens in danger of criminals, there's every reason to remove him. Now here's an update of the Democrats' fallen star, Andrew Cuomo. Last Friday, the New York State legislature passed a bill to strip Governor Cuomo's emergency powers in party line votes of 43-20 in the Senate and 107-43 in the Assembly. On Sunday, March 7, Cuomo said he will sign the bill. Last spring, lawmakers approved Cuomo's request for additional authority to pass sweeping mandates unilaterally. Republicans had long opposed the extra powers. Under the new legislation, the governor no longer has the power to pass new mandates. Also on Sunday, 2 more women, both former aides of Andrew Cuomo, have come forth with new allegations of sexual misconduct. bringing the total number of sexual harassment against the governor to 5. With sexual harassment charges coupled with nursing home death cover-up, Cuomo's future looks dismal. Nearly 50 state lawmakers from New York have called for the resignation or his impeachment. However, Cuomo is hanging on with his very last breath, saying, "I was elected by the people of the state. I'm not going to resign because of allegations. There's no way I resign." Some politicians should keep in mind that you cannot get away with your dirty deeds forever. If you are no longer of use, all your wrongdoings will come back to get you. Jacob and Leah Simmons are a couple in Texas. It has been several months since the Simmons' last foster child left their care, and they were earnestly awaiting another. So when they were selected to foster a 3-month-old baby boy, the Simmons were overjoyed. But there was only one catch. The infant had recently tested positive for COVID. Leah was told on the phone that the baby had been infected with COVID and no one else would take him. But the couple had decided to take the risk. Jacob said, "We are okay with us getting COVID, more so than him not being loved." The baby arrived at their home in July 2020 when a surge of virus cases was appearing in Texas. The family soon fell into a routine that involved constant hand washing, carefully handling of the laundry, and wearing masks 24/7. Leah was staying downstairs with their daughter while Jacob quarantined upstairs with the new baby. Jacob was closely monitoring the baby's symptoms, checking his temperature with every diaper change. Despite the demand of the routine, Jacob said he had enjoyed the time spent with their little man and he wasn't worried about the virus. His lack of worry seems to have been well-founded. No one else in the household caught the virus. Now, the Simmons' little man has recovered from COVID and is in good health. A virus should not be the reason to stop caring and loving for others. And that's it for today, my friends. Please like and share, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Check out these playlists right here for more eye-opening content. You can also follow me on Gab, Parler, and Telegram. And don't forget, please sign up to our email list so that we can stay in contact with each other. Thank you all, and I'll see you